China is suffering from heavy rainfall and floods, which are triggered in several regions of central and southern China. Thousands of people have been evacuated to safety.
Rongjiang wasn't ready. No one was. In just hours, streets vanished beneath roaring brown torrents. Buses turned into ghostly wrecks as boats floated past shop signs, and sirens screamed through towns swallowed by water. This wasn't just rain. It was the heaviest rainfall Guizhou has seen in 50 years. Rivers exploding beyond their banks. Entire neighborhoods erased overnight. 6 lives lost, tens of thousands forced to flee, and now the flood's fury surges into Guangxi. Beneath this chaos hides a harsher truth. A shifting climate rewriting the rules, fragile systems pushed to their breaking point, and human courage tested against a rising, unstoppable tide. This disaster is part of a growing pattern. China's East Asian monsoon, known locally as plum rains, has arrived earlier and stronger this year. Guizhou saw double its normal June rainfall. Experts say this surge fits a troubling global trend. Climate change is intensifying rainfall, making extreme weather more frequent. Warm air holds more moisture, leading to sudden downpours. Combined with steep terrain and dense cities, even brief storms can turn deadly. Recent storms like Typhoon Wutip further soaked the ground, leaving no room to absorb more rain. As rain systems keep stacking, places like Rongjiang face repeated hits. Transitioning from past patterns to these intense monsoons, China's flood defenses and disaster readiness are being tested like never before. Rongjiang and nearby Kongjiang face the hardest hits in Guizhou. Originally home to about 300,000 people, Rongjiang sits where 3 rivers meet. In late June, persistent rains caused record flooding. The water surged to 256.7 meters, the highest since 1954. Later in the week, it crested again at 253.5 meters, 2 meters over the safety line. At least 6 people died, and more than 80,000 residents fled to safer grounds. Evacuations continued through heavy downpours. Flood alerts hit the highest level as schools, shops, and streets were submerged. For example, the local Village Super League soccer stadium was covered in 7 meters of water, shutting down a once popular tourist spot. Then, there were personal losses. A cake shop owner told reporters that her business was a heavy blow. Her only income vanished in the flood. Meanwhile, rescuers pulled an 8-year-old girl from a drainage pipe after she was swept away chasing a shoe. She survived 7 hours underground. Sadly, bridges and roads collapsed. Trucks dangled mid-air. Landslide threats rose on steep slopes. As floodwaters swept out of Guizhou, they flowed into southern Guangxi along the Lu River. Villages and farmland in Meilin Township were hit hardest. At peak, water rose over 4 meters above safe levels, flooding half the area. Remote villages scrambled to protect their homes. Infrastructure in rural spots is weak, so they remain vulnerable. Meanwhile, an unusual rescue captured national attention. A heavy-lift drone carried a stranded man off a collapsing rooftop. It lowered a rope and lifted him to safety in under a minute. Many viewers praised the rescue, saying, "China is living in the future." Yet the danger remains. Authorities warned that a tropical depression could hit again soon. That might bring more rain, floods, or landslides. Rural communities in Guangxi face the greatest risk. They lack strong flood drainage and have limited rescue teams. Therefore, local officials have stepped up dike repairs, added rescue teams, and issued warnings for possible road failures and dam overflows. In response to the deadly floods, Chinese authorities acted quickly. Guizhou raised its flood emergency to the highest level. Thousands of residents were moved to safe zones. Emergency teams worked around the clock to evacuate families, rescue the trapped, and distribute food and supplies. Temporary shelters were set up in schools and public buildings. Medical teams were also on standby to treat flood-related injuries and illnesses. To support recovery, the central government expanded its social security net. Now, 70% of flood-related compensation costs are covered, including damage to crops and lost livestock. This financial support is vital for families who depend on farming. Some of the hardest-hit areas will also see planned relocation, moving people away from flood-prone zones. In addition, the government is creating water diversion zones to reduce pressure on riverbanks. Meanwhile, infrastructure improvements are underway. Engineers are reinforcing key bridges, checking the stability of dams, and repairing broken roads. Early warning systems have also been upgraded. Red alerts are now being issued more promptly in multiple provinces. These alerts help local authorities act faster before floods reach dangerous levels. Although challenges remain, the government's response shows a stronger commitment to protecting lives and property during climate disasters. The floods in Guizhou and Guangxi have caused deep and lasting damage. Economic losses are expected to run into the billions. Agriculture was hit hard, with large swaths of farmland underwater. Farmers lost entire harvests, and livestock drowned. Tourism, which had been booming in Guizhou thanks to rural sports and cultural events, came to a standstill. Hotels and attractions were shut, and local businesses saw weeks of income vanish. Rural areas suffered the most. Many villages are home to ethnic minorities, like the Miao and Dong communities. These regions often lack strong infrastructure. Poor drainage systems, narrow roads, and older buildings made them more vulnerable. When the floods came, many communities were cut off completely. Rescue crews had to hike through mud or use boats to reach them. For these groups, rebuilding will be slow and difficult. Experts are also raising concerns about climate change. As global temperatures rise, storms are becoming more intense and unpredictable. This means future floods may be even worse. Without stronger defenses, such as better river management and improved housing in rural areas, communities will face repeated disasters. Therefore, many are calling for long-term climate action. It's not just about recovery, but building resilience for the future. The floods in Guizhou and Guangxi were more than just a natural disaster. They were a wake-up call. We saw rivers rise beyond control, homes swallowed by water, and lives changed in an instant. Yet, we also witnessed resilience. A girl surviving hours trapped in a drain, a man lifted by a drone from a rooftop, and communities coming together in crisis. These moments remind us that in the face of growing climate threats, preparation and unity matter. Let's not wait for the next flood. Learn how to build a flood kit, plan an evacuation route, and stay informed through trusted weather updates. Have you ever faced extreme weather? How did you handle it? Share your experience in the comments. We'd love to hear your story. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you're always ahead of the storm. Stay safe, stay alert, and stay connected.